Hey everybody, it's Keegan here. I'm back with another video for you guys, and I hope you're all having a nice day so far. Anyways, it's time for another video, and today I'm bringing you guys another movie review video once again. And this time we're going to be talking about three movies this time. So let's talk about them. Now, the first movie we're going to be talking about is one that I watched on Crave about a month ago, and the film in question is the 2022 psychological horror film, Smile. This film was written and directed by Parker Finn, and this film was originally released on October 30th, 2022. Now, I avoided seeing this movie in theaters when it first came out 2 years ago because it didn't really look that interesting to me. I figured it was just a generic psychological horror film with nothing but jump scares in it. And it does have a lot of jump scares in it. Surprise, surprise. However, the main reason I watched it about a month ago was I was hearing some really good things about the sequel, which had come out on the weekend I watched this movie, which, spoiler alert, we will be talking about the second movie in this video. So, after hearing some good things about the sequel, I decided to watch the first movie and see what it's like before I saw the sequel. And naturally, I was not a fan of this movie, and I just didn't particularly like it, but we'll get to more on that in a little bit. But we'll quickly go through the story, and then we'll get into my thoughts on it. Now, this movie centers around a therapist who, after witnessing the death of one of her patients, she starts having hallucinations of people making some disturbing smiling faces. Anyone who witnesses the death of a person with the smiley face, they become infected with this disease or whatever it's called that causes people to hallucinate seeing smiley faces and stuff like that. And the people who see it will likely die in 7 days. And the therapist is trying to figure out what's going on and why she's seeing all of this stuff. The story is very simple. You can probably guess where it goes from here. Now, when I finally watched the film, I didn't have any expectations for this movie. And I didn't really like this movie very much. I just didn't really like it. I thought it wasn't scary. It wasn't disturbing. And I honestly don't really understand the hype this movie has got. I really don't get it. And I thought the story was really uninspired and cliche. And it's similar, there are elements to this movie that I've seen in a few other horror movies like The Ring, It Follows, just to name a few. Although I think those movies were better. But this movie wasn't the worst I've seen. I just didn't really care I just didn't particularly like it, and I really don't understand the hype for it. I mean, it had some good camera work, like when it went upside down. I thought that one was kind of interesting. And the some of the shots were pretty good. The CGI didn't look very good in my opinion, especially the birthday party scene with the cat, which if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But overall, I just thought this movie was just bland, generic, and just, I don't know, I just didn't really like it. I really don't get why people like the movie so much. But to each his own, I guess. And if you like the movie, that's totally fine. I honestly just did not like the movie at all. It just wasn't for me. But it's not the worst I've seen, but there are far better horror movies that I've seen out there. The main reason I watched it was just out of curiosity before I saw the sequel, which, despite watching this movie weeks before I saw the sequel, I just watched it anyway out of curiosity, and I just didn't like it. I don't regret watching it, but I doubt I'll ever watch it again. So, yeah. But again, if you like the movie, then that's totally fine. It's just my opinion, that's all. Anyways, I'm giving Smile a 4.5 out of 10. Just didn't like it. And I just don't get the hype for it, that's all. Now we move on to the sequel, Smile 2. This one was again written and directed by Parker Finn, and this film was released on October 18th, 2024. So this film has been out for a whole 30 days at the time of me recording this video. Now, I saw this film on Saturday over the weekend, and while I thought it was a little bit better than the first movie, I still wasn't a fan of it. I don't know why, but we'll get to more on that in a little bit. But we'll get into the story first, and then we'll get into my thoughts on it a little more. So yeah. Now this movie takes place immediately after the first movie ends, and it centers around a pop star named Sky Riley, who is played by Naomi Scott, who you might know from the live-action remake of Aladdin. Anyways, Sky Riley is getting ready to embark on her world tour, performing at concerts and stuff, because she is a pop singer after all. However, Sky Riley has a troubled past involving a car accident that occurred a year earlier, and she's ready to make a comeback with her tour and releasing new music. And a few days before her world tour begins, she visits her drug dealer one night and witnesses the death of the drug dealer, as the drug dealer was the latest victim of the curse or whatever that causes people to hallucinate seeing smiley faces. And then, you guessed it, she becomes the next victim of. She starts having hallucinations of seeing people with creepy smiley faces, and starts seeing some pretty unsettling stuff. Yeah, you probably know how it goes. And she's trying to figure out how to get it to stop before it's too late. And yeah, that's basically what the story's about. You can probably guess where it goes from here. Now, I must say, this movie was better than the first one. It had a better story, and I liked that it was focusing on a pop star better, honestly. The dancing sequences were pretty good, especially with the choreography, and the lighting in some of the scenes were really good, especially in the one scene where Sky Riley and her backup dancers were rehearsing for their first concert in New York City with the red lights in the background, which, if you've seen the first trailer to this movie, you might know what I'm talking about. I thought that was pretty well done too. And the lead actress did a good job too. Naomi Scott did a good job playing as Sky Riley. And this movie definitely had more blood and more gore than the first movie. And while the movie wasn't exactly scary or creepy, at least it was better than the first movie. However, I still was not a fan of this movie at all. While I didn't hate it, unlike the first movie, which I just didn't like the first movie, I thought this was decent, but I don't know. I still wasn't a fan of it for some reason. It just wasn't really for me. While it's better than the first movie, but I honestly don't really get the hype this movie and the first movie got. It's not scary, it's predictable, and I kind of knew where it was going to go, like from the start to finish. And by the end, which I knew how the ending was going to go, and I was right. I don't want to spoil it, but if you've seen the movie, you know what I mean. But I just really don't understand why people love the first and second movie so much. I don't get it. And I'm a horror fan too, but I just really do not care for this movie. While, again, it's better than the first movie, it was okay, I guess, but I don't know. I'm just not really a fan of it. But at least it was slightly better than the first one, I guess. I know one of these days they'll make a Smile 3. I guarantee they will. And if they do, I don't know. I might pass on it. We'll see. But despite Smile 2 being a better movie than the first one, I still wasn't a huge fan of it. But yeah, I don't regret watching it. It's just probably not one I'm in a big rush to seeing anytime soon. But yeah. Anyways, I don't have anything else to add, so I'm giving Smile 2 a 6 out of 10. And the last film we're going to be talking about is actually a brand new movie that just came out over the weekend, and I saw this one yesterday, and that is the 2024 horror movie Heretic. This film was directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods, and it was released on November 15th, 2024, so it literally just came out over the weekend. I wouldn't say I was really hyped for it. I wasn't really too didn't really have too much expectations for this movie, but I still went into seeing it anyway. Interestingly, when I was looking it up on IMDb, this movie was actually filmed in British Columbia, which is pretty interesting. Anyways, let's take a dive into the story and then we'll get into my thoughts on it. So, this film follows two Mormon missionaries named Sister Paxton and Sister Barnes. Sister Barnes is played by Sophie Thatcher, and Sister Paxton is played by Chloe East. I'm not really too familiar with these two actresses, although I know that Sophie Thatcher's in a TV show called Yellow Jackets. I've never actually seen that show. I heard it's good. Anyways, I'm getting off course here, but so Sister Barnes and Sister Paxton, they're Mormon missionaries. They're going around, walking around the street and going door to door to talk people and see if they're interested in joining their church, that kind of thing. And then they go to a house that's owned by a man named Mr. Barnes, played by Hugh Grant. And he invites the two women inside, and they talk for a while about religion and stuff. And they're trying to see if Mr. Reed is interested in joining. And then Mr. Reed starts to act a bit strange, and then it all turns into a game of cat and mouse, where he's trying to basically get the two women to question their faith and question religion in general, and it all gets kind of eerie as the film progresses, and then a lot of weird shit starts to happen. And without giving away too much, that's basically the story of the film in a nutshell. Now, right off the bat, this is a very slow movie. Like, it's got a very slow pace to it, which doesn't really bother me. I honestly like these types of horror movies that have slow pacing and stuff like that. That's just me. And this is a film that centers around faith, religion, doubt of religion, and that kind of stuff. I feel it should be noted that I've never really considered myself a religious person, and I don't consider myself an atheist either. I've just never really considered myself a religious person. I don't know why, but that's just me. And I will say the film is really well made, and the performances are all really well done, especially from the two lead actresses, Chloe East and Sophie Thatcher. And Hugh Grant did a great job as the antagonist. He was weird, creepy, and I overall thought Hugh Grant did a great job in this film. And I especially like the shots of the miniature set in the film. I thought that was really cool. Well, in general, I think miniature is pretty cool. While the film is well made, well shot, and well acted, and is creepy at times, I wasn't really a big fan of this movie. I don't know why, but it just didn't really connect with me for some reason. I'm not sure if I have to really be well, I wouldn't say you really have to be a religious person to enjoy this movie. You can be a religious person or not. But I don't know why. This movie just didn't really connect well with me for some reason, and I don't know why. Despite thinking that this film is well made and all that kind of stuff. But it's a very slow movie, but that doesn't really bother me that much. But I don't know why. It kind of just dragged on a little bit for it to get good for me, but that's just my opinion. I'm not saying that I don't like this movie. It just wasn't really my glass of beer, that's all. But again, it's well made, it's well acted, and Hugh Grant did a great job in the film, but I don't know why, this movie just didn't really connect well with me. Not that the movie is bad, it's just, I don't know, just wasn't really my cup of tea, I guess. But I don't regret watching it. Like I said with the other two movies, it's just not one I'm in a big rush to seeing again. But it was an interesting experience seeing it in theaters. It was pretty atmospheric around the last half of the movie when it started to get creepy. But if you like these kind of art house horror movies, especially ones from A24, then I think you might like this one. But again, it wasn't for me, but hey, not bad, I guess. Anyways, I'm giving Heretic a 6.5 out of 10. Alright, so that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like, leave a comment below, and subscribe for more videos like this. And what do you guys think of these three movies? Let me know in the comment section below. And more movie review videos will be coming out soon, so stay tuned for more. But anyways, thanks again for watching. Hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And yeah, take care, everybody. Peace.